Wondering if everybody is accounted for, everybody who had to come across borders or that you're expecting for camp?
Everyone's here. Yep. We're Happy New Year. Everyone is in New York as we speak.
When you guys, sent out the letter and doing the rebuild, obviously you couldn't have expected these last season and now this season, the truncated schedule and everything. How does that affect the timeline? How does that affect development of players with the possibility of no AHL, shorter practices on the big club? How does all that affect the timeline?
Well, I think, listen, it's obviously a different time, what we went back to the bubble and a shortened season and now playing less than 82 games. But every team's the same. We're all in the same situation. We got a great opportunity here to play a 56-game season against in a division that's going to be difficult, and I think will be good for our players to play, and we'll evaluate them every day, and we'll try to get better. But as far as the letter and where we're at in the timeline, I think we've been pretty consistent with our approach with that. We're trying to get better every day. We'll see what we have on the ice. Let's win our next game, and let's keep trying to move this thing forward. And hopefully the timeline is quicker than later, but let's see what happens when we get back on the ice.
I want to know about the goals for the season, the priorities for the season, and where do you guys want to see improvement to reinforce the feeling that the organization is on the right track?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question, Vince. Happy New Year to everybody that's on the call. I think that you get thrown curveballs now and again in this profession, and we've all been throwing a great big curveball since March. But I applaud our group, our coaching staff, our training staff. They've been in constant touch with all the players in the organization. We've added players to the organization, and try to do the best you can in that sense. Keep them motivated, keep them working, keep them having the understanding that, camp's going to come one day, and sure enough, here it is. So be ready. And we feel quite confident about our club in that respect. Now, as we get into the season, it's different. There's no question. Some of the junior leagues aren't playing yet. The American League will start 5th of February, I believe. There'll be a taxi squad. So we have to constantly have communication amongst our management staff and our coaching staff as to who's going where, who's with the team, who's playing, who's not. And from what I've seen to this point and talked to our staff about, is a lot of the young players were so young. Now they've gotten a little bit older, only a few months, not even a year, but they've changed. You saw Capo come back to the bubble in Toronto and play the way he played. And now he shows up after a solid summer of working out. He'll be bigger and stronger. We look for things like that. You always look for things to hang your hat on when you go through a build like we are, and to see the older players lead, to see the older players be even better than what they were last year, each and every one of them, to see the young players mature, to see the new players come in. We're excited about Keandre Miller, for example, with the way he played prior to the bubble with the team. And in talking to a lot of the people who have seen Keandre work this summer, there's a maturity aspect there that's going in the proper direction. So when you go through a building, you have so many young people, you're looking at everybody from this player to that player to that player, the new players coming in, and you push their buttons and try to make them better. And I personally firmly believe that we're in a good spot with the way that we approach this season with the young people. We're in a great division, a very tough division, and that's going to be a great experience for our players.
Wanted to ask about Henrik Lundqvist. It came as a shock to me anyway, if not everyone else, that he had a heart condition and now he's having surgery and stuff. And I was just wondering if you guys, were aware of this, or if it came as much of a shock to you guys. And have you been in touch with him? How is he doing? Anything you can share with us about Henrik would be helpful.
Well, I can say on behalf of the organization, we were absolutely shocked. And we've had constant communication from a number of people within the organization. Hank's a Ranger. always will be a Ranger. We're there for him anytime he needs help to do with anything, period. I know he's got the surgery ahead of him. We wish him well. He's going to be just fine. And obviously, down the road, he's a Ranger. So anything he needs, we wish him well. There's a lot of, I don't say this lightly, but there's a lot of love for that man in this organization. And he's been dealt something here he'll deal with, and we wish him the best for sure.
Anybody unavailable to skate on the first day, or is everybody good to go? And I was wondering if you could handicap the chances you think now, and it's right now, I get it, of Keandre Miller, since JD, you did talk about him, of what are his legitimate chances of making this team?
I'll start with Keandre. I think he's got a great chance. I think we're all excited at what he's been showing. His commitment this off season has been great. He's been here for a long time, training, working, skating. So we're excited to see how he looks. It's been pretty well publicized how he looked prior to us leaving for the bubble. So for him to have the off season he's had and now come to a big league camp, albeit short, we're excited to see him here with NHL players. So he's got a great chance, and we're looking forward to seeing him. As far as players, like I said, they're all here. We have 3 players that are going to be unable to be on the ice on Monday. They'll be listed day to day. It's Mika Zibanejad, Justin Richards, and Keith Kincaid.
Jeff, you mentioned kind of everybody's in the same boat with a 50-game season. I'm just curious, when you look at the landscape, who does that give an advantage to, or kind of how different is the season going to be given how short a schedule it is and how many times you're going to be playing each team?
I mean, that's a great question. I think we'll have to play the games to know whether or not, veteran teams or young teams have an advantage here. Listen, I think it's going to be tight. It's, we're playing the same teams over and over, and the rivalries are going to be, difficult and fun for everybody. And we'll learn a lot about our players, and we'll learn a lot about the rest of the division too. So, I think our guys are really excited to play hockey and get back on the ice, and no matter what the division, who the teams are, they just want to play. And guys, that's what they've been doing. They've been waiting for something good to happen here. And now that they're back, everyone here is excited about our team. They're about playing hockey and where we go next. So that seems to be the tone around here right now.
You've equipped David Quinn and his staff with a roster to compete in this very tough division?
Well, we'll find out, Bruce. Good question. Happy New Year. I think we'll find out. Like I said, a tough division. I got some teams that have won Stanley Cups recently. It's got a lot of good players in the division. So we'll find out. I think that, we feel really good about our group. I think if you look at last year's team, the bubble was one thing, but prior to, like, in the last couple of months, 3 months of the season, our team was trending in the right direction. A lot of our young players were improving. So we've seen a lot of good things, and we have some young players. Hopefully we'll push. I think we're deeper. We have some organizational depth that I think we've improved on. I think our goaltending situation is good. So listen, I'm comfortable that our team is moving in the right direction, and that we'll be a competitive team, and we'll see where that takes us.
You've been around the game a long time, obviously, and you know how heated things can get on the ice. I'm just wondering, guys have long memories, but how nasty or how heated could some of these division rivalries get, not just in your division, but across the league when guys are playing 2-3 times in a week, 8-9 times during the year?
I think it's going to be a bit of a throwback in some ways. I know that the game is played a little differently than it was in the past, but there's always emotions. I love games that have high emotion to them, but I also love our team when we control our emotions. And when you have a shortened schedule like this, every single point's going to mean something. So I think it's going to be very interesting when you play teams as much as we're going to. We have one point in our schedule, we play the Devils 4 straight games. It's going to be emotional. There's no question about it. That could be a win-win for everybody, but I firmly believe the emotion is going to be there. There's no question about it in all the different divisions, including the one up north in Canada. The fans will be involved for sure. I think that part of it's somewhat exciting. That's something I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. But I know this much. The game is called differently. discipline's important, and that's something that we're going to have as a team.